Radio Stews Nation, coming at you live. Here we go.
Time to end this suffering. I need a minute to myself, so I can drift away. You will never get to me. What can be done, I'll do myself, so I can slip away. What's around, what's for? What's losing control? What's around, what's for? No one about to break. What's around, what's for? What's losing control?
What up, YouTube? It's your boy Whip, coming at you live from Radio Stews Nation. Not exactly live, because I don't know how to do a fucking podcast, but I'm going to do my fucking podcast anyway. Welcome to another episode of What They're Really Fighting. This is iteration number 3, I think. I don't fucking know. Anyway, tomorrow night, which is Sunday, May the 28th, we have a fight night card. I believe it will be on Fox Sports 1 if I'm not mistaken. It's a card, a very underwhelming card as far as the undercard, and, I'd imagine probably the prelims too. It's just a bullshit card other than the main event. So that is the only fight that I give a fuck about on this card is the main event. So without further ado, let me just shout out real quick. CCSIZ on YouTube. Charlie, Sierra, Indigo, Zebra. That's my boy CCSIZ. Check him out. He does all kind of reviews and shit like that. So check him out. Subscribe him. Subscribe me. Don't fucking forget. Also check out Kathy. That's Kathy. Dixon, Dixon. In parentheses is Match Pets on Facebook. She can help you find your animal if it is lost and you believe that it may have gone to a shelter. Hit her up on Facebook. She'll help you out. Hopefully she will be able to anyhow, but she's got a pretty high success rate, so check her out. Anyway, let's get right into this fucking thing. I had enough talking about other shit. Alright, so like I said, tomorrow, May 28th, we got Gustafsson versus Glover Teixeira. That's Alexander Gustafsson, who is most well known for his crazy-ass fight with John Jones in 2013, a fight in which I thought he won. But again, I fucking hate John Jones, so maybe just that I'm biased. Who the fuck knows? Anyway, so, Gustafsson, what I'm going to start doing in these series is going over the last 5 fights to give reasons why I think these people are really fighting what I think they're really fighting. Gustafsson's last 5 fights, will start from the furthest back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so, I don't know if I counted this right. I might have skipped one, but the relatively last 5, maybe last 6, I think I skipped one. But so we had a win versus Shogun Rua in 2013. It was a unanimous decision. Then he lost to John Jones by somehow unanimous decision in 2013. And then he goes up against Rumble. He's trying to pick up the pieces. He loses again via TKO in the first round in January 2015. Then he lost again to Daniel Cormier by split decision. That was October 2015. Rumble kicked the shit out of him. Lost to Cormier was a great fight. It was questionable. Lost to John Jones was a great fight. It was questionable. Certainly questionable with John Jones. And then he retired for a while. I believe he was facing injuries. And he was facing like I'm right about at the ceiling and I can't go any higher than this. So he retired, which actually turned out to just be a hiatus, returning in September of 2016 to win a unanimous decision versus Jan Blachowicz or some shit. Blachowicz, however you say it. Jan Blachowicz. Anyway, Jan Blachowicz is not Blachowicz. He's not I don't want to say he's not like a talented fighter. He is. He's not a top of the line UFC caliber fighter. Somebody says UFC, you don't think of Jan Blachowicz. Not to say that he's not a great fighter, but outside of Cormier, Rumble, who's now retired, definitely. So outside of Cormier and Jones and Gustafsson, the best you might get might be Blachowicz or Misha Kirkinov or something like that. There's not a lot of fighters in the light heavyweight division that can pass or be accepted as top tier fighters. Top of the line, top fucking tier fighters. You know what I mean? Like, when you think of GSP or Nick and Nate or even like JDS, like you think of these guys, but like Jan Blachowicz is not one of those guys, you know what I mean? And there's not any in the light heavyweight division outside of Rumble, DC, Jones, and Gustafsson. And the only reason Gustafsson's even on that list is because of the amazing fights he had with Cormier and Jones, respectively, themselves. I mean, obviously, he fought Rumble, too. That doesn't really speak to his strengths. He got knocked the fuck out in that fight. But Rumble's a fucking savage, so that's different. So, anyway, and the similarities between these two fighters are amazing. Then we have Teixeira. Teixeira's last 5. We'll start furthest back. He won against OSP, rear naked choke, round 3. He won against Pat Cummins after that, TKO round 2. Then he won against Rashad Evans with a knockout in round 1. That was amazing. And then he lost to Rumble via TKO, which is very similar to Gustafsson's case. Lost to Rumble via TKO in the first round. And then he comes back to fight Jared Cannonier, which he won a unanimous decision in. That is so eerily similar to Gus. See, Gus loses to Rumble. Well, no, he did lose to Cormier after that. Okay, so then he comes back and he fights only like a mid-grade fighter. Same here with Teixeira. Now, another thing that I find strikingly similar in this case is what they're really fighting. I think each of these fighters is really fighting for that top echelon, that upper echelon that Jones and Rumble and DC sit in. I think that the winner of this fight will enter that circle, whereas the loser of this fight will enter a gatekeeper role. So for Teixeira, that is definitely what he's fighting. If he loses again, I honestly believe that he will be relegated to gatekeeper status. The winner of this fight is going to, probably get the title shot next after DC and Jones get through it. So I think that Glover Teixeira is really fighting for status as a top dog rather than a gatekeeper. On the other hand, we have Gus, who I also think is fighting that, but there's also two other things I'll say that Gustafsson is fighting. He's fighting the Ronda Rousey syndrome. He's fighting the will to be there, really. He's fighting against his own demons that chase him away from the octagon. Oh, I never beat Jones, and now I lost to Cormier and I lost to fucking Rumble. Oh my God, you know what I mean? He's fighting that downward spiral that Ronda Rousey has not even tried to fight through. And I also think that he is really fighting he's really fighting, like, not just through his injuries, but yeah, like I said, that downward spiral. He's stuck in what seems to be a rut, and he needs to fight his way out of it. Now, my prediction for this fight is that Gustafsson will overcome all of his self-doubt that he has been experiencing for the past couple of years. I think that has contributed to his will, his fear, not necessarily fear, but his desire to be the best, his desire and knowing in his heart that he is a great fighter. I know he knows it. I think he's fighting for whether or not that's worth it, whether or not he is able to become what he knows, and I know, and many other of his fans know that he is. He is fighting for confirmation that it is okay for him to feel that way, for him to be that. And it's hard to explain what I mean, but I'm sure that the fighters out there, who see this will understand what I mean. You know, once you lose a couple in a row, your whole life you thought you were the best in the world. You know you're the best in the world. You are the best in the world. But any given day, any other fighter can always get you. So when they, you get got 2-3 times in a row and you're like, is this really fucking worth it? Was I really right this whole time in thinking that I was the best? And anyway, that leads me to my prediction, which I think that, yes, Alexander Gustafsson will realize that everything that he has worked for will be worth it. Not that Glover isn't a great fighter. I just think it's a little too. They I don't even know their ages. They might be close in age, but I think that Glover is too. I was reading an article earlier, and they used the word shop worn, which I think is the perfect description for it. Glover has, he's been around a while. He's fought a lot, and I think that he is, now starting to decline. Maybe due to the combination of his age and the battles that he's been in. My prediction is that Gustafsson will come to the realization that he is correct, and he will win this fight. I would say most likely by unanimous decision, and yeah, he's gonna take it all the way this time. I think that Jones wins the fight with DC, and then Gus and Jones rematch, and I think Gus takes it this time, and I think he deserves it. So that is it for this episode of What They're Really Fighting, and yeah, you heard it here first. Don't forget, like my shit, don't like my shit, dislike my shit, however you do it. Subscribe. It's your boy Whip. Don't forget, fucking subscribe. Don't be a bitch. Whip Dog out. Peace.
Not surprised, motherfuckers. Motherfucker. I'm not surprised, motherfuckers. Motherfucker. I'm not surprised, motherfuckers. I'm not surprised, motherfuckers. Cholo, gangsta from the hood. Me. You know what's the real fight? Cholo, gangsta from the hood. You're taking everything I work for, motherfucker. Cholo, gangsta from the hood. I'm gonna fight your fucking ass. Cholo, gangsta from the hood. No, fuck that. I'm not surprised.